Andrea, welcome to Live from My Living Room. How are you?
I'm good, Lisa Marie. It's always good to see you. And now I'm not seeing you face to face when we're together in person. It's nice to see you via our screens.
Absolutely. Well, we've known each other for a while now through your PR work. Your guests have been on Hip New Jersey throughout the years, and it's a really nice relationship, and I thank you for that. But why I want to talk to you today is because you have a story about how this coronavirus has impacted a milestone event, namely your daughter's wedding. How did you navigate that?
I got to tell you, uh, this has been crazy, absolutely crazy. So, we're going back. She was scheduled to get married on March 22nd, and the previous week, that Friday, we went to our venue, the Grove in Cedar Grove, New Jersey.
Beautiful.
It is stunning. We gave our last payment. We even got a chance to meet the chef. He happened to be walking through the hall, and we're all saying, "Is this really going to happen in a little over a week?" And everyone said, "No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine." Of course, we had the pit in our stomachs, and we already had cancellations. We have a number of guests who have previously undergone cancer treatments, so we were not surprised when they had all and their families had canceled, because none of their families could have been around anyone. So we're thinking, all right, what are we going to do? So that's Friday. Friday afternoon, it becomes a national state of emergency. So the world changed within the 2 hours from when we were at the Grove till we got home to our home in North Jersey. And we're absolutely freaking. Now it's a national state of emergency. What are we going to do? So my daughter Haley and her then fiance Frank came over the following morning, and we're trying to figure this out. And the texts are all starting to roll in. I don't think I want to come. What are you going to do? And the stress was just building, building, building. And my brother lives in San Marcos, California, outside of San Diego, and he didn't think he could get on a plane. And then her bridesmaid, Hannah, lives in Chicago. She wasn't going to be able to get on a plane. So now it's snowballing. It's snowballing. And we said, we can't do this. They couldn't get married without these important people there. So at that point, they said, okay, we have to move the big wedding. And we were able to speak with the Grove. They were so accommodating, and they gave us a bunch of dates over the summer. And we got on the phone and spoke to all of our vendors, the DJ, the florist, the photographer, the videographer, the rabbi, the hair and makeup, you name it. We spoke to all these people and moved the date to July. However, their marriage license says March 22nd. Their ketubah, the Jewish marriage license, said March 22nd. Everything that they've ever purchased around their house said March 22nd, 2020 as their wedding date.
Oh.
So we said, all right, let's still have a ceremony in our backyard with the rabbi. And the kids said, let's do this virtually. We'll have someone playing it on Facebook Live, and all of our friends and family all over the country can watch the wedding. And this way, legally, they're married on March 22nd. So this is all set up. We borrowed a portable chuppah, the canopy, the wedding canopy, from our synagogue, the Fair Lawn Jewish Center, Congregation B'nai Israel in Fair Lawn. And we were going to do this. Everything was set. Then Saturday, March 21st happens. The florist delivers all the flowers to me because I had paid for them. So I said, all right, send me, all the flowers. And I'm in my garage with my mom and my neighbor, Irene. We're all social distancing, and we're cutting flowers and putting them in vases. And I'm crying. I mean,
Why?
my daughter, I wanted, you dream of this. The day you have a child, you dream one day you're going to walk them down the aisle and you're going to have this amazing day. And I'm crying because now I don't know what's going to happen. And Governor Murphy comes on and says, as of 9 p.m. on Saturday, March 21st, no weddings, no social gatherings, no nothing. Now, of course, we weren't gathering. We didn't have a group of people. We had the handful of us, and that was it in my backyard, but no weddings. And what are we going to do? And my daughter's trying to calm me down, and her fiance is sitting at the dining room table with his head in his hands. And my daughter says, why don't we just get married right now? And this is 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock Saturday, March 21st. And Frank, her fiance, says, okay. And they said to me, call the rabbi, call the rabbi. He says, all right, I could get there between 7 and 7:30. I said, all right. The kids go on Facebook Live. They announce to everyone the wedding's moving up to 7:30. My next door neighbors were nice enough to set up my backyard with a handful of chairs, social distanced apart. They took all the flowers and decorated on tables and broke rose petals all over my patio for me. And Haley and Frank went home. They had to shower and get dressed. We hadn't showered because we've been doing work around the house. We're all showering. We call my sister-in-law on Long Island, and she gets in a car, and she's here in 40 minutes.
Wow.
And it was the craziest thing. And we streamed this live. Didn't happen at 7:30. It was about 8 o'clock. And they signed, the national, the marriage license, legal one. And they signed their ketubah, their Jewish marriage license. And the rabbi was fabulous. Rabbi Cantor Lenny Mandel from Congregation B'nai Israel in Emerson, New Jersey. He made everyone so comfortable. And the way that he spoke to them, to Haley and Frank, and to the viewers who were watching from around the country, and many of whom were watching right in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, all with their glasses of wine. Most of my friends told me later, no, we gave us something to do on a Saturday night. We watched a wedding and opened a bottle of wine, and we all shared it, and we felt the love. So Haley and Frank are married, and they are going to celebrate March 21st, March 22nd, and now their new wedding date of November, because
November.
We realize there's no way we could have a wedding in July.
Yeah.
It's not going to
be
happen.
Too soon. Absolutely.
It's not going to happen. And unfortunately, coronavirus is on an uptick, and we have to realize that, and we don't want to go through the stress again of rescheduling. So we spoke to the Grove, we spoke to all of our vendors. Everyone agreed on a date in November. And now they're happily married. They live in their apartment. If they survive this, it's going to show the proof of their love, because they're working. She's in one room, he's in the other room, and obviously everybody's working from home. And that's a lot of togetherness when you first get married.
Yes.
and it all worked out great. And listen, I had fun with it, as you know, because as a public relations professional, she was interviewed by Associated Press. There's a great feature on Yahoo of her and her fiance, a great video, front page of the Bergen Record on Saturday. So there they are on the front page of the Bergen Record. So we had some fun.
Your grandkids will have an amazing story to learn about.
Yeah, and I think that there's so much negativity, and I'm having a tough time with social media, because so many people are being just so rude and negative and unkind. And to me, let's all do what we can to be happy and positive. And let me sit and talk to you while you're on your couch.
Exactly.
And let's all have a good time. And I have flowers all over the place on my house, and I'll keep them here until the flowers die. And let's think of ways that we can be positive, and let's stay indoors, and let's not go out, and let's follow the rules and do the best that we can do in this time. And then, God willing, months and months from now, we'll say, wasn't that the craziest thing we went through? And we'll be able to look back, and we have to stay healthy, and we have to thank all of the first responders and the nurses and the doctors and the people at the grocery store and the people at the diner and everyone who is out there working so that we can all stay inside, the rest of us.
Absolutely. And you know who deserves a lot of credit too? Just circling back to your story, the Grove, all of your vendors, your rabbi.
Exactly. It was, when we did the video, we invited people that we couldn't invite to the wedding. You can't invite every single person. We know this. So we were able to invite people to watch the video who hadn't been invited to the wedding. And everyone had such nice things to say. And everyone was so excited to share in something so unique that they were able to do that. And knowing that, my parents live around the block, so I do see them. Mom and dad are amazing. And we're making sure we bring them food, and my sister brings some food. And if we get takeout, we'll get for them and drop it at their house. And we're doing what we can for them as well. But there they were sitting in my backyard, all bundled up because it was chilly. It was the evening. And they watched their granddaughter get married.
Yeah.
And my sister lives around the block, and she made a cake. And so my daughter had a wedding cake. And Haley and Frank are so happy and they love one another. And it has nothing to do with a big party.
No.
It has to do with the love that they have for one another. And that's what marriage is all about. I mean, I'm married a long time, and it's about love.
Yeah.
It's about making it through all of these crazy times. And like you said, they'll have a story, but you look at, the Grove and Elite Entertainment and Anthony Zakaria Photography and all of these vendors that we have, and everyone's going through it. So to say to someone, hey, you still owe me that money, and I'm not going to give you anything for that money, that would be horrible. And luckily that didn't happen to us, and it's not happening to people. And there are some companies that are being negative and aren't supporting their staff, but we're working with companies that are doing the best that they can do in these challenging times.
Absolutely. And I think that's the lesson in all of this too, is let's keep it simple.
My husband and I try to go walking every day. And when it rains, obviously we can't walk, but we were out before 7:30 this morning for a really long walk, and people were also walking or walking their dogs, and everyone's saying hello to everyone. Well, people never said hello before. We would walk on the path and we'd say hello to someone else, and they would look at us like we had two heads. And
Absolutely.
It's such a pleasure that people are waving or saying hello and being kind. And that's what really matters. So our routine has changed, and we're lucky. We have a treadmill, we have an exercise bicycle, so we are able to exercise every day, and it's really important. If you don't have something, get out, walk a little bit, get some fresh air, socially distant from people, but get out and move your body. I took my mom and dad last week to a local field where normally the kids are playing basketball or baseball or soccer or what have you. And there was one car in the parking lot plus a police car. And we pulled up, and mom and dad got out of the car, and we just walked back and forth because it was a tar surface on the walkway. So it was very smooth for my parents to be able to walk. So I got them out of the house. I took them. Then we started just driving around town. We just drove around. Let's look at this and let's look at that. And this is open and this is, and I just took them for a drive because they can't get out of the house. And that's important that they're not with other people. But today we're doing a drive-by. It's my brother-in-law's birthday. So my sister has different people pulling up in front of her house at different times. And we're all going to be screaming happy birthday to my brother-in-law, Larry. So today I have a happy hour with a bunch of girlfriends that we scheduled it on Zoom, and we're all going to have our glasses of wine and catch up with each other face to face. And my book club was last night. So we had a conference call for book club. So it's a little different, but we're all finding a way to enjoy our time together.
I just want to touch on your business.
Public relations has changed dramatically. So I'm a solopreneur. My company is Andrea Past Public Relations, and my expertise is in securing media coverage for my clients. So whether that's in newspapers, magazines, radio, TV, online, new media, I secure press coverage. And the challenge has been that right now we're in a 100% coronavirus all the time. So if your story is not related to coronavirus, there is a challenge there. But there are people who are doing stories. I have consumer products. There are bloggers who are reviewing consumer products and still writing reviews. So you can still send them a product. It might sit in their garage for a week because they don't want to touch the box right now, but they'll eventually review it. There are podcasters that are looking for content. So I have a lot of my clients doing podcasts or video casts to be able to discuss their business. I work with Canafil, which is a new hemp-infused topicals. So you're working out at home or you're doing your spring cleaning early, you have some aches and pains, Canafil is a great product for you.
I need that. Oh, I would be happy to review that.
I will get you hooked up with Canafil.
Yeah, because Yeah, I'm stretching every morning. We're going for walks, but I have never been so achy. Every day, my lower back, my sciatica.
Exactly. And starting a small business right before or as this uh, COVID-19 pandemic
Brutal.
was rolling out is a tough time. However, Canafil, based out of the Tampa area, is certainly a product that could benefit anyone, no matter what, middle-aged, older, younger, someone who has an ache or pain. This is going to help relieve it using 94% organic materials and U.S. grown. So,
Perfect.
so that's great. I have a client, Cabinet Caddy. It's a caddy that you can put either spices in or other items in your cabinet to save space. So if you're limited in space in your kitchen, if you have an apartment, Cabinet Caddy's the way to go. Now, the inventor, Shari Hammond, is an at-home inventor, a single
Oh,
mom
very
from
cool.
Austin, Texas. So here it is. She's got a great product. Her other product is called Go Hang It. How many times do we try to hang a picture and it's crooked? So
All
I'm
the
looking
time.
behind me. I hope my picture is
No,
straight.
it looks okay, but all the time, of course.
but but Go Hang It is also a great product. So Shari has that. I'm working with an author of a book called Walking the Tightrope about the physician of China's communist leaders, Zhou Enlai, Mao Zedong. And she followed this physician around for years and could not write his story until he had passed for fear of retribution from the government. So he had passed a number of years ago, this physician, and now Olivia Cox-Phil is able to release Walking a Tightrope. So these are just examples of things that sort of changed and were put on hold. So for Andrea Pass Public Relations, I'm busy because I have clients that I need to still tell their story in a pivoting way. And I think the word of the year, does someone do that at the end of the year, the word of the year? The word
I
of the
know
year
they
should
have the color of the year. I've never heard of the word
we
of
got
the
the
year.
Pantone color of the year, and then Time Magazine has the person of the year. I don't know if Webster's does a word or words of the year. So, of course, COVID-19 and coronavirus will be there. But I think the true word of the year should be pivoting. We're all pivoting and we're zigging and we're zagging. And I think in public relations, I'm zigging and zagging to be able to secure press coverage for my clients. And I'm doing it on a different level than I was doing it before. So
Maybe it's teaching you a different way to go about it, even when life does resume back to normal, right?
yeah, and it's true. There are so many media outlets every day, and one of the things I've always joked with is to be in PR, you have to be a PI. So you have to be a private investigator to be in public relations because every day I start my day reading, watching, and listening. What's being covered? Who's a new media outlet? When did this launch? What are they looking for? How can my clients fit into what they're looking for? So it's always been unique and challenging to secure press coverage, but it doesn't mean there isn't an opportunity to do so today. So through Andrea Pass Public Relations, I'm doing that for my clients. So it's important because some clients or potential clients think they could do it on their own. I got a phone call. Here's a funny story. Riding my exercise bicycle Saturday afternoon, phone rings. I'm huffing, I'm puffing, I'm on the exercise bicycle. And this man says, "You're Andrea, the PR person, right?" I said, "And you are?" And it was a man who has a product and he's going to donate money to a local food charity because he's fighting COVID-19. I commend everybody. We should all be giving back. But you are not personally fighting COVID-19, and you giving a portion of sales for your product that I don't know if you've hiked up the price, it is not fighting COVID-19. We need to put it in perspective, everyone. You have major companies changing their manufacturing. Today I heard Vera Bradley is making masks out of materials. Hanes, Dyson, so many major companies that are changing their manufacturing. The entrepreneur, yes, give back, but don't expect press coverage for it. Give it because it's here. It's in the goodness of your
Absolutely.
heart to do something. And this individual said, "Oh, but I know how to get press." Well, then why are you calling me? Why are you calling me? So I got a kick out of it. And I laughed. And then he sent me multiple emails since Saturday. and he wanted me to volunteer my services. He says,
Oh,
"Aren't you altruistic?" Yeah, I am. I'm constantly giving back. I volunteer for a lot of organizations and have done so my whole life. I didn't wait for now to first do that. And I'm helping my neighbors and I'm helping others. But for a for-profit business, I am not donating my services to a for-profit business.
yeah. It sounds
I
like he's got
still
a
have
little
a business.
quarantine brain, right?
It's possible. It's possible, but there's a story for everything and everyone. And if there's a way to help a nonprofit, I'm going to help that nonprofit from a pro bono standpoint. But if it's a for-profit that you work for, I can put together a public relations campaign for you at an affordable budget and secure press coverage so that you stay in the press. So when this thing is done, you've been in the press, people have already heard about you, and they're willing to write about you more because you were nice enough to provide them with information now. So it's that kind of thing. It's all about relationship building. And I think that any of us that are in business, and you and I are a great example. We developed a relationship. We've always stayed in touch, and that's what business is about, those relationships. And I'm hoping that I can do that for my clients in public relations and future clients.
Well, with people watching, so many people watching us right now,
Whoever.
how could people find out more about you?
Feel free to go to my website, AndreaPassPR.com. And I'm on Facebook at Andrea Pass Public Relations. And look me up and let's talk, because we all need someone to talk to bounce ideas off of. And I think that's what it's all about. Here in New Jersey, I'm on the board of the Northeast region of the New Jersey Association of Women Business Owners. We've moved our meetings to online meetings, and we are having speakers. So people who are in business, please come look us up. We're Njabo, NJAWBO, and look us up and join our webinars to learn more about us. If you're an inventor, I'm on the board of the nonprofit United Inventors Association of America, UIAUSA.org. Free services for inventors. So there's a lot of great things we can do. I chair the workshop council of the Performance Driven Marketing Institute, the PDMI.com. All of these have great resources for businesses. So I invite your viewers to learn a little bit more. Now is the time for us to get educated.
Yes, we have all the time in the world. So now is the time for personal development, professional development. There's no excuses at all now. There's nothing to procrastinate over, right?
Exactly. Except, I guess, cleaning.
Yeah.
So I did that one day. I took like 2 hours and I started cleaning, and I said, I think I'll go back to work. But but now I have my next book club book to read, so I will find
good.
time.
What are you reading?
The Giver of Stars is the next book club book. So
I've heard of this book.
Yeah, it's on the Reese Witherspoon book club. So my book club has been reading books on the Reese Witherspoon book club.
Well, I have a book to suggest to you if you need one.
Of course.
10 Years Later, my book.
Oh, I'm writing that down. I will totally read your book 10 years later.
10 years later. Yes, it's a fun beach read. That'll be a good one in the summer when we're all out of quarantine and we're by a pool or a beach and we're taking our delayed vacations. That'll be a good one to pack with you.
I love it. I am a Jersey Shore girl. So I am praying that we can get back and be at the beach this summer. And if not, I guess I'll be on my lounge chair on my deck, and maybe I'll do what I did when I was a little kid. I'll put up the sprinkler and I'll run through the sprinkler around the backyard.
I really hope and pray, and I honestly think by the summer it'll be back to normal-ish. Like I think we'll be able to go to the beach. I hope.
I hope so. I hope so. Avon by the Sea is my spot. Cape May is my vacation spot. And
Wildwood is mine.
We took the kids to Wildwood Crest. Every year we'd be down there, and my daughter and her now husband, they go to Wildwood. Looking forward to seeing my son, who lives in Hoboken, So he's in Hoboken, and we told him we'll come and pick him up. He's in his house. We said we'll pick him up and he can come stay in our house. So we're doing the best that we can all do to self quarantine. And if none of us are around any other people, he gets all of his food delivered, and it sits by the front door, and he doesn't see anybody. We feel comfortable enough picking him up and bringing him here for a few days. So
Good.
hopefully we'll be able to do that. But it's challenging, but we all need to look at the fact that we have a roof over our heads, we have electricity, we have running water, we have the internet. We really, there's food in our bellies. We're okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Andrea, this was so great. Congratulations again on
Thank
your daughter's
you.
marriage. And
Thank you.
for slaying quarantine life, that's what it sounds like. You're doing great. So keep it up. This was really great. I'm happy to have you live from my living room.
It was so much fun being live from your living room, and I look forward to the coming months where I get to see you in the studio.
Yes, I can't wait for that day. We'll have a big studio day party. I can't wait.
Count me in.
All right. Thank you so much, Andrea. Have a good
Have a
day.
great day.
Bye.
Bye.